just gets in there, who, if we're going to go by performance, what qualifies, what performance have we seen that would qualify a person for a dadgum $90,000? Bob, how do you get a $90,000 raise, son? I've, you know what I'm saying? That's more than I've ever made. 90,000. Now that's on top of that he already made 185,000. So you're not. It's not just wow, Shazam, 90,000. No, it's he was making 185, and we give up to 275. $275,000.
I mean, I'm hearing it's 300,000. So,
Yeah.
from a pretty reliable source, but it makes no sense. You know, you're looking at we're losing employees, they're firing employees. Our turnover rate is unbelievable. He can't do anything on his own.
Well, Bob, we can't get captains paid. We got a kitchen worker left just the other day. She's owed $8,000 back pay overtime. You know, here's an employee that's putting in massive overtime, working their butt off, want to stay, and leaves just because of the conditions, just because how dang sorry it's got to be. So we're losing good employees. That one has shared, did not want to leave, was happy, was very satisfied, thought they would retire. Talked to another guy the other day who left. I would have never believed that guy would have retired and resigned and went somewhere else. But he just like, hey, and this guy is in a good, it didn't have to leave in a good spot. Just said, man, it's just got too crazy. I'm leaving. Now, unbelievable, these people. And we're going to turn around and give a $90,000 raise in that atmosphere with all the stuff we're getting reported, 10 top executives suing, all of that going on. But Bob, if it was just one, we would go, okay, that's a buddy deal. But man, it's not one. I mean, people need to be aware of, hey, every one of these people that's in these agencies have gotten massive raises.
JJ, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
A hypothetical question. What if our speaker said, hey, you know what? I'm going to give everybody, all of you guys, a $50,000 raise. Do you think the public would be outraged?
Oh, they'd be pissed, Bob. There'd be, hey, with this last raise we got, and I'm still catching hell on it. And we don't decide our raise. Somebody else decides it. We have no, but here's what's funny, Bob. I don't think public knows that we don't get any kind of retirement. Now we get to pay into a 401 or something, but we don't have a set retirement. And so again, you're making 47,000. So I'm setting over the budgets of these people. We're making the laws on these people. We're making $47,000. And here's this other guy out here making $275,000. Is that not upside down? And
here we got a director has no respect for you. Did not even answer your email when you had that hearing. Did not even he had the audacity not to even bring the person you asked him to bring.
Well, Bob, I think that's indicative of all of these. So every one of these agency heads, there's a few really good ones, but I mean, most of them are going to try to put you off until, so you come in February and you start looking for stuff, Their job is, it's like playing basketball. Hold the ball till the clock runs out. Come May, they're all going to leave and we can go back to doing whatever we want. So when you call and say, how many employees are you down? Something that ought to be really easy to get. What's happening?
Hey, speaking of that, I talked to a warden the other day, and he told me that he got a call from DOC, told him not to be answering your questions.
Yeah, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, that would not shock me at all, because again, this is not just one agency. They're all this way. Don't answer their questions because we don't answer to them. We are our own authority. We run our own kingdom, and then we're going to turn around and give them these kind of raises when they just bow up. And I'll tell you who to blame on that. I don't blame these agency heads. I blame us as legislators because there ain't no legislators got the balls to do anything. Tell you the truth, they don't have the backbone to stand up to them. All we got to do is jerk that purse. I guarantee you, all you got to do is cut that budget and say, you can't show us your information. We catch you lying to us. You can't do all this. You don't want to bring anybody over here that we need to bring to find out what's going on. We answer to the public. You don't. We get elected. We're going to answer to the public. Our job is to oversee you, make sure you do your job right. And guess what? We don't have anybody, very, very, very few legislators are going to be willing to, to go after and shut this. And again, Bob, it's not just Department of Corrections. We've seen $32 million since I've been up there missing from the Department of Health. You remember when that happened? How do you misplace $32 million? And
we never got that back.
No, you can't get a straight answer. Oh, they found it. But again, we already took the money from the county commissioners, and I caught heck over that. And again, it's, you know what I'm saying? You're never going to get back to where you were, and nobody held accountable on that. Who went to jail on that? Nobody. And we have all these hearings.
Well, look at Ole Miss when you got the big to-do over the Swadleys.
Well, and that's what I say, Bob. Where's anything on it? Where Epic? Let's have a little deal on Epic. They got caught. What are they doing? I mean, we're 2 years down the road. What do you see being done? And that goes back to all kinds of illegal money into campaign contribution stuff. What have you heard about that? Not one little thing have you heard on all of that issue. Not one little thing have you heard on this. I mean, nobody's screaming at the top of their lungs when you see a 60% raise that is $90,000 for the health department. And again, we got to go back and go, okay, Keith Reed, what's his qualifications? My understanding, I don't know, but I thought he was like a nurse practitioner or something like that. I mean, is he qualified? What's his qualifications? What has he done? I mean, if you can come in there and go, hey, he saved the health department millions of dollars. It's running better. We're running better, and we've saved millions of dollars. I have no problem saying, okay, give him a huge raise. Let's rock and roll. But have you heard anybody say anything like that? Have you heard anybody say anything about any agency running much better? I will tell you this. There's one on here, Department of Human Services. I got zero problem. I think that guy, all his people got a raise. He got the same percentage of raise that all his people got. And I think that's fair. And I think that's right. And I can tell you that his agency has astronomically improved attitudes, morale, everything much, much better. We're seeing people more.
Well, you can't say that about DOC. It's the morale's worse.
I can't say that about any of these agencies. I'm going to say that the Department of Human Services, let me see, they got something like a 30, I don't know, I think it was a $15,000 raise. I was trying to look on here and see if I could find the Department of Human Services. They got somewhere around a 15, which is not astronomical. But I mean, when's the last time you got a $15,000 raise? Bob, you ever had a $15,000 raise?
Well, I always work for myself, so I couldn't say anything about how it works out there, and it works. But let me read you one of the notes that I got. Just one of them. I don't want to read all of them. We wouldn't have time to do anything else. It's a slap in the face to the mainline workers with DOC, and is a consensus of many employees I've spoken with this morning. Sure seems like someone worked hard to keep this quiet until now. And if it wasn't for non-doc, we might not even know about this.
Bob, I will tell you this. I didn't know about it. I didn't know anything about it till you sent it to me. Other day, I was at a meeting up in Muskogee, and I had a couple of meetings up there that I'd scheduled to help some people keep from driving so far. I was up there, and you sent that. I was sitting at a table with a group of people talking, and you sent that, and I ended up spending more time reading that. They're all over, yeah. I'm like, hey, y'all need to be looking at this. This ought to make you mad right here. And I got it out and started just going down the deal. Tourism got a 12.77, which again is 235 to 265. Now, I really like Shelly. I don't have a problem with. She's actually worked real well with me. But you know what? What's tourism doing? Again, what have you done? What number one, what qualifies you for the position? Number two, what have you done? And when I see you saving millions and millions, here's the deal, Bob. If you can write a grant for me and you can get a grant for $6 million, I got no problem paying you $500,000. You're making me 5.5 million. It's a no-brainer. But the question is, when you stepped into this position, what have you done? What justifies this astronomical huge rates? Because Bob, I don't know about you, but I think most Oklahomans would think $235,000 is a heck of a pay scale. I can't see I know a lot of attorneys won't be bringing home, that right there. They'll be bringing home, pretty good money, but I know some attorneys probably don't bring that right there home. And again, they got
sure, but it really obviously the governor must not have looked at what's happening over at DLC, where the director can't make a decision without other help, and he didn't know anything about the corrections, how it operated or how it worked.
Well, here's where I'm at, Bob, and I always love to say the governor don't have a bigger supporter than J.J. Humphrey. I got people mad down here at southeastern Oklahoma, mad because they you support the governor. I do support the governor, especially over Joyless Hofschister. Who else would you? But I support him anyways. I like him. I think he's a good guy.
Well, that's a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer there.
That's a no-brainer. You could be brain dead and know better than that. But here's the thing. I'm gonna go back when he first come in. What he was talking about is cleaning up corrupt government, cleaning up the cronyism, and cleaning up, and getting rid of this top waste management. Now, again, we haven't seen anything but scandal after scandal after scandal. We hadn't seen anything but put your friend in, put your friend in, put your friend in. And now we're seeing, my gosh, you going to put your friend in and give him a $90,000 raise. Whoever.
Well, let's look at the PREA. Look at the PREA that's going on.
Well, here's the deal. But, if we just take that one individual, which it's not just, I don't want to pick on just one individual, because this is a whole list. I got a whole 2 pages of individuals that we're talking about. But let's take that one individual. You come from OMES. You have Swadley's is a big scandal, which again, here's the deal. He's just supposed to be over watching the contracts. I don't think he did anything illegal other than he didn't do the job of making sure them contracts were done legally, because obviously there's a bunch of problems in them. Then you turn around and we have COVID money, same thing. You have educational money, you have ARPA money, you have all of these that we're hearing. And again, I've not seen any of the documentation to say, hey, this money's gone or this money's gone. But a lot of problems we're hearing that where you were over. And so, bam, you move all of a sudden, which is, I'm being moved to save. This is in terrible shape, and I'm going to come over here and save the day. Well, you ain't saved the day as far as I can see. What have you done to radically change or make better? And again, I talked to a lot of Department of Corrections people, I can tell you that just like what you were saying a while ago, where wardens are being told, don't even talk to me. And again, what have I'm not making this personal. I'm not making it a tag, but I am going to call it out are you deserving of a 90,000 raise? I sure can't see it. I can tell you that I believe Department of Corrections ought to be one of the highest paid up there. I do believe that they should.
I believe it's the hardest job there is.
Well, I think Department of Public Safety, Department of Human Services, Department of Corrections ought to be some of the top. But I do believe that if you're making 200,000, and I think we should go back and look if a whole lot of these school administrators or whatever are making 250, we need to say, hey, we need to set some pay scales. They damn sure set our pay scales. Boy, I guarantee you, if you let a legislator get, here's the deal, get no retirement, get $47,000, and I can show you email after email talking about how much money I get and how crooked and I've turned down a lot of donations and again pay most of the gas. Bob, I'm practically working for free because my gas bill cost me just about what I make for the state. So if it wasn't the fact that I was drawing another retirement and had some cattle stuff coming in, I couldn't afford to even be legislator unless I took all the money that a lot of people take. I don't blame them for taking it because guess what? If you don't, you're going to pay that gas out of your pocket. You're going to pay hotels out of your pocket. You're going to pay meals out of your pocket. And, I've chose to do that. I've got a plan on seeing if I can get small donations from common people. I want my donations coming from common people, not from a bunch of lobbyists that I had to take orders from. But at the end of the day, how is it that people can get so upset and then we turn around and see this right here? I mean, it ought to make people, let's see, David Adcock, the Uniform Building Code. So again, a uniform building code looks like he got a $65,000 raise. Have you ever, Bob, do you know anybody that's got a $65,000 raise?
Well, I can tell you this: if it was your money, if it's his money, they wouldn't be getting a raise like this.
Oh, if this was, you think if I owned a company that I'm going to give you a $56,000 raise? Bull. So 56,000 to Grant, Cody Grant looks like, or Grant Cody, Executive Director of Real Estate Commissions. I mean, I don't know, Bob. You know what I'm saying? Do you know? I mean, you've been in a legislator. I've been in a legislator 7 years. You know, how much dealings do we have with the Real Estate Commission? I'm not saying they don't do anything, but by damn, do they merit a $56,000 raise? Let's see here. Oklahoma Arts Council, Amber Sharpley's, a $40,000 raise. Oklahoma Art, we're going to give a $40,000 raise to. I mean, I don't know about everybody out there, but everybody ought to be getting plenty mad right about now. It's about time we raise hell, because I'm going to tell you something. Bob, do you think that our government is running right?
No.
I mean, you know what? We're looking at more corruption in court, more corruption in agencies. We're getting corruption every day. They're ignoring everything. They're not held to no accountability. A bunch of these contracts, unbelievable. And yet we're going to turn around and reward. How about we reward them for doing their job and start turning in a transparent budget, a transparent how many people you got. How about could we even get this? Could we actually get how much money you actually get per how much employees instead of padding the books? Because guess what, Bob? They play these numbers. Well, we're going to ask for 1,000 employees, but we really just need 680. And yeah, you're going to pay us for 1,000, but we're going to use this other 400 something for something else. and that's going how we pay for this over here. We pay for that over here. And again, it's a shell game. It's called lies. When I
it is a lie.
It is a lie. And why don't we come up with the actual amount of money, the actual employees? And again, we ought to hold people accountable for that. We ought to be able to say, you bring us a real bill that we can look at, a real budget we can look at. And again, let's start cutting, just like I know Department of Corrections real well. Bob, I've raised Cane for 3 years. You got all these people over there at 3400 Martin Luther